Today, I'm going to debunk those longevity myths that so many people believe about longevity that are simply not true. So I have gone all around the world studying longevity. I have hosted several seminars on longevity. I'm a part of private longevity masterminds. I've got one longevity mastermind coming up for doctors where hundreds of doctors are going to be flying in for it. So I love educating on longevity. I love interviewing researchers and the top doctors, as I view myself as one of the top longevity doctors in the world. And the interesting thing is these myths that people actually believe about longevity. The first myth is that longevity is all about genetics. And sure, if you've got the Clotho gene, if you've got the Methuselah gene, if you've got certain genetics, you can live longer. However, talent's not enough, right? You've seen those athletes that are awkward on the court or that aren't the best on the ice, or, they're just awkward. Like Michael Jordan did not make his high school basketball team initially. And so you've got these people that are like, man, my dad died at 50, my mom died at 60, I'm gonna die at 50, I'm gonna die at 60, my aunt had cancer, my grandfather had heart disease, I'm gonna get these diseases. Well, guess what? Since the Human Genome Project, we know that a lot of this is not true. You can even look up this meta-study from MD Anderson Cancer Research Institute entitled "Cancer is a Preventable Disease That Requires Major Lifestyle Change." Now, why did he even talk about this? And what was this study all about? It was about how cancer is something that actually is not 100% genetic. Sure, there are genetic components to it, but they're saying that 90 to even 97% of cancer is found in the epigenome. What is the epigenome? It's the environment in and around the genes that turn those disease genes on. And so if you've got a cancer gene, that's the bullet in the chamber of your gun. That's the genetic kind of predisposition that you have. But your finger is your lifestyle. Your finger is your environment. Your finger are the things that you can control. So you can take your finger off the trigger of the gun. You do not need to shoot that bullet. So this is exciting news for people that are wanting to not just prevent disease, but live longer. So what we have found, and what I found clinically, and all the pre and post lab tests I've done on thousands of clients that I've worked with around the world is, and from all these different demographics as well, is that when you shift your epigenome, shift your lifestyle, upgrade your nutrition, and all of these different things that I talk about on this channel, what ends up happening biologically and in these, what they call aging methylation clocks of your body, what ends up happening is a lot of these clocks start to reverse, or they start to slow down, right? The Dunedin pace score is a very powerful test that you can see how many years are you aging per year. So some people it's 1.5. For every year they're on the earth, they're aging 1.5. For me, it's a lot less, right? It's one of the top numbers in the world. I'm one of the leaders in the world in Dunedin pace scores. And so you can actually get it down to 80.8, which means every year that passes, you're only aging 0.8 years, right? They can actually measure this now in the laboratory and through these different tests. So what we now know is that you have control over your genetic destiny, that you can change your genes and you can change the expression of your genes, right? You can't change your genes, you can change the expression of your genes. So you can literally turn some disease genes on or off, and health promoting longevity pathways on. So good news, right? Very, very good news. So that's myth number one. We've crushed that. It's not just about your genetics. There's so much that we can do. And trust me, I would say 90% of the traditional education out there in medical colleges still believe this old myth, even though in the research, in the scientific literature, this has been debunked since the mid 2000s. So please bear with me as I continue to educate you on what you can do to live longer and healthier on this channel, because I can guarantee that the things that we end up doing together on this channel will help you to completely transform your health and your life. So please share this with other people. This is life-saving information, and hopefully it will help you like it will help your friends and your family, etc. So myth number 2 is to eat less food, right? It's all about caloric restriction. Now, a lot of people are saying that the only proven methodology for extending one's life is to ultimately starve yourself to death, right? Like you're just minimizing the calories that you're consuming. Now, there is truth to this, right? We know that caloric restriction, intermittent fasting, has a lot of different benefits. It stimulates autophagy and mitophagy, and it stimulates all these processes in the body that help to get rid of senescent stem cells and senescent cells of the body, and helps to replenish the good cells and the good tissues of the body. But the reality is that a lot of people take this too far. And this has really been cascaded at a high level with the GLP-1 movement. People are now on GLP-1s and they're like, oh my gosh, I lost all this weight and I'm doing some incredible things to transform my health. And yes, it can be a great booster. It can help you lose some weight. It can help you get moving in a good direction. But what ends up happening is you end up getting deficient in a lot of essential nutrients, micronutrients, macronutrients, and it causes you to actually age faster. So there is a limit, right? There is a limit. And we have to be careful with this GLP-1 movement. We have to be careful with the things that we are doing. We can take it to certain extremes, right? And so our ancestors, they used to feast and then they used to fast, right? It was almost like feast and famine. You know, they went into those winter months and our ancestors would not eat a whole lot of food. In fact, they would be forced into like more of a caloric restrictive diet. But then in the springtime, in the summer, they would eat a lot of food. When food is abundant, right, it can, and healthy food, obviously whole food, it can be amazing for the body. And cyclically, even throughout the week, you can integrate this, what we could call diet variation into your life that can be very healthy. So you can calorically restrict and then you feast, right? And it can be actually very beneficial, especially for people that are wanting to get into ketosis. If people are having a hard time getting into ketosis, when they're cutting down the carbohydrates, they're cutting down their calories, and they just can't seem to get into ketosis. If you do a feast weekend and then you go back into keto, or you go back into more of a ketogenic diet, then you can elevate the ketones and it can kind of kickstart your body. Genetically, we're kind of programmed to continue to get healthier and healthier the more we kind of vary the various strategies that we want to integrate. All right, so that's eat less, right? That's an important one. The other one is exercise. We need to start exercising and crushing exercise, right? And so what did we find out is that the research is very clear that exercise is absolutely critical for living longer. However, what happened to me? I was dealing with crazy levels of fatigue. I was a doctor at the time. I didn't know what the heck was going on. I was in this 3-hour consult with with one of the top doctors in the country. And he was like, so what's happening? And I'm like, man, I get depressed. I'm getting low energy. I just don't understand. And it's typically on days that I'm not working out. And then he's like, okay, well, and he could not figure it out. He didn't know. It took him 3 hours of his time to figure it out. And he finally figured it out. He's like, oh my gosh, Isaac, 6 of the 7 days that of the week, you are working out like a dog. And I was like, yeah, it's good for you, right? And he's like, no, you're overtraining. You're doing too much. And so there is a process, right, where you look at bodybuilders, they live a lot less years on this earth than people that are not bodybuilders. You look at Olympic athletes, a lot of those Olympic athletes die early because of how hard they push their body. So there's a balance to exercise as well. Number 4 is that there's a longevity supplement scam going on out there. And so I would agree with that for, I would say the majority of supplements out there, but there are a lot of longevity supplements. You don't want to throw the baby out with the bathwater. That will help to shift and transform your life. I'm about to do a really powerful experiment. I have just put in the most advanced order for, I would say, the best longevity stack that the researchers that I work with and the longevity doctors that I coach and train help me put together. And I'm about to do this for a few months. I'm going to post test along the way. So you're going to see literally a shift and a change in my biological clocks, and I'll publish that to this YouTube channel. I look forward to sharing more information and actually reviewing my lab tests and what's working and how we can get these amazing results. So don't throw the baby out with the bathwater. There is a lot of supplement scams out there, but there are a lot of really powerful longevity supplements. And I know this because I've seen the pre and post test data on thousands of patients. And I know that when you do X, Y, and Z, you can literally shift in different ways their biological clocks. You can slow the aging process down biologically and create really great results. So the last one is that living longer means that you're going to be frail and sick, right? And who wants to live longer? Because that's a terrible, way to live. I want you to really consider that and be open to the possibility that you can create your best years in your later years. You can create incredible vitality, athleticism, flexibility, mobility, agility, endurance, etc. as you age. And a lot of people, they don't believe this because they've seen everyone age, go into a wheelchair, go to a nursing home, go to hospice and die. And it's been ingrained into our brains that that's the process. But we need to upgrade what we believe is possible. Our minds are so powerful. Our amygdala is so powerful. My goal is to live to 156 years of age. Heck, if I live to 156, then I might as well be able to live to 200 or plus. But the reality is, you want a vision for your health. You want a vision for your life. And I think that this vision that you can create for yourself around being vital, being happy, being healthy, being around your grandchildren or your loved ones, traveling the world in your 80s, in your 90s, when you're 105, when you're 110, create that vision for yourself and believe that you can do it. And look for the strategies like what we're going to teach on this channel to be able to integrate them into your life so that you can live a long, healthy, vibrant life. So thank you for watching. If you want more longevity tips, tricks, and strategies, please subscribe to this channel. Click that bell button, like this video. I'd love to get your feedback, any questions on these myths or any other myths that you want me to shoot videos on in the future. Please feel free to comment below. And I hope that you enjoyed this video. Again, longevity is not about just genetics, right? Eating less is the only way to increase your lifespan. Not true. Exercise. That's the way to longevity. And a lot of people end up overtraining that way. Longevity supplements are a scam. Majority are, but there are some that are absolutely crushing it. And then living longer means that you're going to live fragile and you're going to be sick. Not true, right? Recreate a vision for your future. Really believe it and surround yourself with the people and the education that will help you get there. Thank you so much. Have a great day, and we'll talk to you soon.